So I don't usually do drama related videos, but I've had this on my mind and just wanted to like talk about it. Because I care about the general conversation and the repercussions of the conversations. The so what is that conversation? Is the ongoing let's call it a hate train towards a fellow content creator. The reason I care about this one is because I play this game that this community is involved in. This community is part of. It's a game that I love. It has a special place in my heart, and it was kind of like a love-hate relationship, or of a toxic relationship, I should say. We can go with that. Today, that's the first thing. Also, I care because I don't like unjustified cancel culture. Also, I don't want to see people punished that have nothing to do with the situation. So what is that situation? There is a Twitch streamer by the name of Gallo who quit playing Siege right around the same time. Well, not really. She quit a season after she got her charm put into the game. To explain that for those who don't know or who don't play Rainbow Six, Ubisoft Rewards partnered R6 streamers with options to have a in-game charm made. People who subscribe to your channel gets access to said charm. So let's say I'm a partner Twitch streamer, which I'm not. Let's say I am though, and I have a thousand views. I'm averaging around a few hundred to 1,000 views per stream. I'm very popular. I'm generating a lot of attention towards the game. And now he's also saying, all right, we're noticing that you're fitting the criteria of someone who should get a charm put into the game that other players can use on their weapons with inside the game Rainbow Six Siege. So that's how that works. Ubisoft basically just rewards partner R6 streamers with the option to have an in-game charm for as long as I'm aware, which means it could be even longer than I'm aware. As long as I've known of this Twitch channel's existence, which has been a little over 14 months, they had an option to have a charm in the game. They repeatedly stated, because during that time frame of 14 months, people will often ask them, "Hey, when are you getting a charm? When are you getting a charm?" And she would also always reply. They have contacted her about getting a charm, but she hasn't decided, on what she wants the charm to be. So she would delay because she didn't know what design they want for said charm. The streamer finally came up with a design, and that charm came out with the Crystal Guard season on September 6, 2021. 6 months later, a new season for the game released. The streamer didn't like the changes made within that season, including by her own comments, not like in Attacker Repick. She didn't like, especially the design of at the time new character Azumi, or Azami, if that's pronounce her name, as well as not like in the duration R6 was hating with certain customization cosmetics like the Rick and Morty kind of skins, basically making Siege look very cartoony and take away from like the seriousness that the game is usually known for, and trying to market towards a new crowd that to bring in basically the same kind of people who will play Fortnite because they like those cartoony, very animated, very wonky skins. So because of that, the streamer decided to stop playing Rainbow Six Siege. Now some of you who got to this point is wondering, so what? What's the big deal? Why is this a conversation? Why are people mad at this streamer for leaving the game? Those seem like reasonable reasons to leave the game. If you're questioning, a game's design, if you're questioning where their direction is, or you don't like a character, or you don't like a certain thing that they added to the game, like Attacker Repick, those all sound like reasonable things to someone who has a reasonable brain. How the hate train doesn't like this streamer personally. That's what this is all about. This is all a personal high school kind of like style shit. Remember back in high school when people just didn't like you because they just didn't like your personality, or they didn't like you because something that somebody else told them, like they said a bunch of he said, she said, and now people just don't like you. So there's a bunch of adults who don't like somebody, and because they don't like somebody, they want that person to suffer. So because they don't like this person, a number of people in the R6 community, including some Twitch partners, by the way, not just people who are just playing the game, not just some nerds who haven't seen the sun in 2 years, but actual Twitch partners and people who are trying to be Twitch partners within the community, all are part of this hate rate, this hate train that exists within the community. Have been posting false information about the streamer to convince Ubisoft to remove her charm from the game. False information, including accusing her of only playing Siege to get a charm and quitting after it, basically saying that she used getting a charm as a way for her to generate revenue and attention. which sounds ridiculous when you actually think about how all that will work. You know, basically saying that she used the charm system program, benefit from it, and then stop. This is false information because she had been playing Siege for over 2 years, and the season she quit was 6 months after her charm was added to the game. Logically, wouldn't you decide to like quit the game if using their like, hey, she used the charm system for her benefit? Wouldn't you quit the month you got your charm? Why would you keep playing the game for 6 more months? Doesn't make any sense. You know, if she was going to use the charm and then quit the game, it would make sense to like, you know, maybe a month or two after getting her charm to quit, because that way she can at least, you know, make revenue off of it and then stop. Because if she stopped playing the game, it actually affects her more than it does, because now she gets less revenue because people aren't seeing her name in the game all that often. They're not seeing her name in the R6 category as often, so she's suffering by not playing the game more so than she would if she just kept playing it. If she was going to use the charm system as an advantage, she would keep playing the game because it will make her more money to be playing R6 right now. That's just a fact. If she wanted to benefit from playing R6, she would never have quit playing R6, because she would have been making more money playing it than not. She would have more viewers. She would also have more people subscribe to her for that charm in particular. Another false statement made about the streamer is that she hates women. You better say she. They're saying she, you know, hates women. A real thing I've seen posted about her is that statement. Why? Why do people think that she hates women? Because she was clipped out of context banning a female streamer. She didn't want her chat. She felt like the vibes were wrong. She didn't like how she was approaching her. You know, this person, she does ban people based on a vibe she picks up from them. She does ban people if she, you know, just generally doesn't like them, or they say something that she doesn't like. You know, when it comes to why you get banned in a Twitch stream, it's a case by case situation when it comes to streamers. It's a case by case situation when it comes to what people said in the chat. So, you know, it is what it is. But she's being viewed as someone who hates streamers, or not streamers, who hates females because of an out of context clip. And that's it. You know, if she hates women, why does she have female viewers? Because she does have female regulars in her chat, who she's very nice to, very courteous to. She, you know, values their presence in her chat, from what I've noticed. If she hates women, why is one of her very, very few mods? I think she has like maybe like 4 or 5 total mods. I think like a couple of them are women. And then the obvious, she's a woman. Does she hate herself? That seems a little weird. Like that's a weird statement to just go around telling people she hates women. She's never stated that she hated women. There's no evidence of her ever saying the words "I hate women." You know, people can take things out of context all they want, and when you're going around telling people these kind of statements, it's false information, and you're feeding of a lot of false information to generate hatred. It's fucked up. You think about that. Generated false information to generate hatred is false information. Not false information. It's fucked up. It's wrong. You're not a good person. It doesn't matter what you think of anyone individually. It's not right to be doing what people are doing right now in the artist community towards this streamer. Another false statement spread around was a claim that the streamer hates dogs. I don't know how. Again, this is one of the things people are just saying things just to say things to generate hatred. Why is it that, you know? Why is that a dumb statement? She has 2 dogs. Would you buy 2 dogs if you hated dogs? I wonder if she has 2 dogs, by the way. She has mentioned wanting another dog. You wouldn't want another dog if you hate dogs. All the while, by the way, this is just what I know from her. No, because I myself, I go look for actual correct information delivered by people's, you know, own words, not just whatever's being spread on as rumors. She herself has stated that she's allergic to dogs while owning 2 dogs. I don't know about you, but if I was allergic to an animal, I wouldn't own 2 of them. If I hated an animal, I wouldn't own 2 of them. Does this make sense to any of y'all? That someone who's allergic to dogs has 2 dogs. People are spreading rumor around that she hates dogs. You know, so none of these are justified, by the way. Like, unless you're just, you know, mentally inept right now, none of the things that I just said justify the reasons to constantly, you know, preach hatred towards this streamer. None of it justifies having her charm removed from the game. If you don't like her personality, or, you know, or the way she runs her stream, cool. Just don't watch her. That's common sense. If you don't like someone, don't watch their content, it's very, very easy to just, you know, not pay them any attention. And by spreading false information and spreading negativity, you are actually being a bad person. You are in the wrong. And a lot of these comments are them trying to promote their friend stream and thinking if one person gets their charm removed, then their friend can get their charm put in that person's place. I've seen the names of who they want to get a charm. One of those streamers has said the N-word on their stream. And this person, she's not a black person, by the way. Like she's not. I'm not saying that they're a bad person. I'm not even saying that they don't deserve a charm in the game, by the way. But saying the N-word is way worse than, you know, I want them removed because I don't like the person. You know, one of those is the racial slur, and the other is I just don't like somebody. She doesn't deserve a charm. Who does? You know, people who say she doesn't deserve a charm in the game, who does? You know, you earn what you get in life. You don't deserve anything. You're not owed anything. You know, you get what you get through the process of what you're working your ass off for. How many Twitch streamers that you know of or have heard about owe their success in their position within inside of an organization or position within a community? They owe it nepotism. How many do you know about that? If you are where you are because of nepotism, then you don't deserve anything. We'll talk about like who deserves what. Someone who's where they are right now because of nepotism doesn't deserve shit. And don't get it twisted. There are Twitch partners, members of big orgs like Dark Zero and such, you know, et cetera, who are only where they are because of who they know or who they sleep with. You know, streamers who nobody wouldn't know if their boyfriend wasn't a member of a pro league team, or you know they weren't best friends with a Twitch partner or someone who's in who's a massive influence within the community. Which, by the way, if anyone has a charm that fits that description, they shouldn't have their charm removed either. Because, you know, no one should be having their charm removed just because you don't like them or because maybe the way they got to where they got to was via nepotism. My point in mentioning it is that they don't deserve and aren't owed a reward. No one is. No one is owed anything in life. You work your ass off, you get where you get to, and you get what you earned from doing what you were doing. So what about the argument? Well, if she doesn't play the game anymore, she shouldn't still have a charm. That's the arguments I've seen. That's what I was in quotes. I have a script for this video. If she doesn't play the game anymore, she shouldn't have a charm. To that I say, should that apply to every person who doesn't main Siege as their main game? The keyword there is main Siege. So there's people who main Tarkov and other games and they'll play Siege here and there, but they have charms in the game. People who don't play Siege at all and hasn't in a long time who has charms in the game. Should those people also have their charms removed? You gotta be consistent. You can't just cherry pick on what your statements and your rules are gonna be. You gotta be consistent. So let's get some examples. You know, Shroud rarely plays R6. He has a charm in the game. Should be removed? Shroud hasn't streamed Siege in over a year. The streamer in question hasn't streamed Siege since February. So if you base it on time, Shroud should have his charm removed, right? Just based on y'all logic. If you're basing it on being fair about someone who's not playing the game, right? Versus you know, there are people who say, oh, I don't think she should get a charm because I don't like her. I think she should be moving because she just play the game, and that has to apply to everyone who only plays other games or doesn't play Siege or doesn't main Siege, or like Shroud hasn't played it in over a year. What about Ammunition? Which is a streamer who I like, by the way. I respect her a lot. I watch her streams. She's a great content creator. But just use her as an example. She plays it more often than Shroud, but sparingly. It's not her main game. She plays it here and there, not a lot. Maybe she'll play it once every other month. Should her trying to be removed from the game? The answer is no. Neither of them should have their charm removed. And the reason you don't see people begging for their charm to be removed from the game is because they aren't disliked by people within the community. There's not a hate rate going on, a hate train that's trying to convince other people who are okay with this streamer to hate the streamer. Let's also talk about people who pay to get the charms. Should those people be punished? It is a nice charm. Like, let's be honest, Gala's charm is one of the best looking charms in the game. It's reasonable for someone to want that charm. So people bought subscription on Twitch for that purpose to get the charm. Should they lose what they paid for? They paid for this. You know, that's not fair. It doesn't sound fair to like punish people who paid for something. They paid for that charm. They want that charms they paid for. It would be fucked up if Ubisoft removed from the game something that someone paid for, because now their money is wasted. You can say, well, it's already wasted, being freaking petty and immature. Now, if the conversation was streamers who aren't main in the game should have the option to get their charm disabled, but those who already own it shouldn't lose it. That sounds fair, because what you're saying is if someone hasn't played the game, a streamer isn't promoting the game or playing the game for a certain period of time, the option to buy is disabled. Not the charm itself. The option to buy it is disabled. So if you already own it, you own it. You can still use it. You can put on whatever you want to put it on, but no one else can purchase the charm or subscribe to get the charm unless the streamer starts playing the game again and Ubisoft it feels that they should have it enabled again. I think that's fair, because now it doesn't punish those who already bought the charm. At the end of the day, the worst part of the situation is that because of this hatred towards this streamer, there are people who go to her stream just to be negative, just to say mean things to her chat, just to call her names and ask her about Siege, just to like try to frustrate her or to throw her off her game and things like that. There's a lot of people who are just being very immature and literally making like duplicate accounts and things like that to show hatred towards this streamer, because Twitter spreads false information or because a streamer they like don't like this streamer. This happens. Most streamers might not even know it, but their viewers are hate posting in this streamer's chat because you don't like that person. You know, there's a hate mob that has been created because of you. And whether you care or not, you should. It's kind of like when people say something like negative about Lady Gaga, and then all of her fans go bully that person to suicide. That's a potential reality. I mean, it's not gonna. I don't think she doesn't care. She's not paying any attention. For being honest with you, personally, I think it's just wrong. It's petty. It's evil. It's spiteful, and people should be above this behavior. If you don't like the streamer, don't watch them. Focus on your own content. Focus on you. Focus on your own viewers. If you're not a streamer, focus on who you want to watch on Twitch. Continue your online hate raid. Your hate posting is just immature. You know, we can't preach having a better community and then do negative things in the community. Now, if you want to cherry pick behavior in the community, hold that same energy for everyone within the community, including your own friends, your own family. I will say in closing that I would have made this video if this happened to any creator. This isn't about someone who I watch or someone who I don't watch. It's about just a general situation involving the Twitch community as well as the video game community that I myself am part of. I didn't choose this one streamer to defend for any reason other than not liking unjustified cancel culture. I've openly stated this a million times on my social media, on my own stream, on here on YouTube, that I don't like unjustified cancel culture. If it's justified, have at it. If someone has done some fucked up shit, they should be canceled. But just because you don't like somebody and you're gonna spread false information to get people to also not like them, that's not justified cancel. That's not justification for being canceled. Which, by the way, don't be surprised if I make a similar video to this about a certain bald Twitch streamer, because that's someone else who is dealing with a lot of, you know, hatred towards them that's unjustified. At the end of the day, get over it. Get over yourselves. Play video games, enjoy them, or don't. You know, just move on. You know, if you're a streamer, promote yourself, promote your friends, ignore those you don't want to fuck with. It's very simple. It is like just it's not hard to be a good person. It's not hard to ignore being a shitty individual. Just focus on your own community, focus on your own friends, focus on your own growth, and not worry about other, you know, content creators that you don't like because, you know, whatever reason. It's just it's called being mature. It's called being an adult. To, you know, I don't like this person, move on. You don't need to continue bashing someone because you don't like them. Don't be part of the problem. Be above the problem. You know, also kudos to the streamer in question, by the way, because as I said, she doesn't really care. She's aware of all what's going on and what's being said about her and choose to ignore it. That's a respectable stance. She isn't punching down or punching back. She's just focusing on her own content, just going with the flow. That's commendable. But anyways, that's it for me. You know, y'all stay safe, be kind to one another. I'll catch you guys on the next video, which should be either the showcase coverage for, you know, Xbox and Capcom and whatnot, or the previously mentioned, conversation about asthma and bald. With all that said, like I said, I've been your boy Anubis the Gamer Archer. I'm out of here. Y'all be safe. Be console another. I'm out. Deuces.